Mr. Attorney General, I want to discuss with you missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. It's a national shame that when Native women are murdered or when they disappear, their cases do not receive the resources or the investigations they deserve, and their loved ones are left without answers. President Biden made significant and specific commitments to tribal communities to support MMIWG investigations, but I am not convinced that those commitments have been kept, particularly by the Department of Justice. Mr. Attorney General, I read your very brief statement on May 5th marking Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Awareness Day. But I'm not aware of you speaking publicly about this issue since you were confirmed to lead the department. It does not appear that you have used your platform to help make this a top priority, nor has DOJ really moved the needle on this issue since your confirmation. As Attorney General, you serve on the Operation Lady Justice Task Force, but that was a task force created under the last Attorney General, not you. You agree that our tribal communities deserve more from the nation's top law enforcement official?
Look, I think this is a terrible tragedy, this circumstance, almost inexplicable tragedy. If I haven't spoken on it yet, I soon will be, because under the President's executive order, I'll be co-chairing a commission along with the Secretary of the Interior. I have been to the U.S. Attorney's offices in Oklahoma, which have significant tribal responsibilities, and we have spoken about those matters. But you shouldn't mistake lack of public statements to be a lack of concern or passion about this issue.
There are 574 federally recognized tribes in the United States. Of those, 326 have reservations, and more than 1 million Native Americans live on or near reservations. That's not counting the many who live in urban areas. Yet, there are fewer than 200 special agents and victim specialists in the FBI's Indian Country program. Do you believe the FBI's Indian Country program is sufficiently staffed?
Well, I think the FBI could always use additional resources. I'd have to look into that specific question, which I haven't evaluated, whether there are sufficient staff.
In light of the facts I just laid out, will you commit today to adding staff to the Indian Country program?
Well, I'm very interested in, our normal approach on this is cooperation with tribal officers and cooperation with the sovereign tribes so that we are in sync on this rather than the federal government invading tribal prerogatives. But I do think that we need to look at this more closely, and this is one of the things I'll be speaking with the Interior Secretary about.
As you know, there's great frustration by many of our tribal leaders that when they ask for additional federal support to investigate these cases, they feel like they don't receive that support. Our nation knows the tragic story of Gabby Petito because of the tremendous media coverage and law enforcement involvement her case garnered. All of us grieve for Gabby's family and friends, while at the same time, I wish that every missing person's case earned the same level of media attention. The FBI committed significant resources to that case, which I appreciate. But Mr. Attorney General, when a Native woman goes missing, or any woman of color for that matter, they don't get the same level of attention from the Department of Justice and FBI. What would you say to their families to explain why?
I don't think there's any excuse for not giving equal treatment to Native and Indigenous missing persons. And I don't believe there's any effort to not do that. I know that both the FBI and the Marshal Service are involved in this, along with their partners, their tribal partners. I'm not sure what else I can say about that.
Just 2 weeks ago, the chairman of the Blackfeet Nation in Montana sent you a letter about the case of Ashley Loring Heavy Runner, a 20-year-old woman who went missing under suspicious circumstances 3 years ago. Her family and the tribal community are incredibly frustrated at the federal government's response to the case. And in his letter to you, he asked why the federal government continues to make Ashley's family, quote, suffer and feel like Ashley's life doesn't matter, unquote. That breaks my heart, sir, because I can see why so many Native American families feel like their missing or murdered loved ones do not matter to the federal government. We have a unique trust responsibility to our tribal nations, and rarely, if ever, has our federal government delivered. This is an opportunity to finally deliver. It offers you the opportunity to deliver. So let's not fail our Native communities again. So what I hope and expect from President Biden and yourself, Mr. Attorney General, is more than lip service or empty statements on this issue, more than cheering task force recommendations that will be left to sit on a shelf And I look forward to your words in the near future. Thank you, Mr. Attorney General.